Okay, so thank you and welcome to the Lives on Lives. Today we will be discussing a viral conversation amongst reborn parents and artists. So we're going to have a few reborn parents and artists come up, share their journey in the community, and just speak about their experience. Hey, how are you? I see you. Hey, Vanita. I'm going to bring you up now. Let's see. Hey, Jelly Bean. I'm going to. How are you guys? Jelly, you got a request. Hey, Vanita, how are you?
Hello,
Can you
I'm
hear me
good. How are
good?
you?
Great. Great. Until it's your turn, you could turn your camera off. You don't have to be on cam if you don't want to. If you do, you can stay, okay?
Oh, I'm
Um,
good. I'm comfortable.
okay, good, great. We're going to have one of the reborn parents, Zoe Miller, discuss first, as she is on a time difference. It's 10 p.m. there in the UK where she is. Hey, my jelly bean, how are
Okay.
you? And then we'll go in
Hello.
order. Hi. Thank you all for welcoming me into the community to discuss this. I'm new to this. Thank you, India. I'm new to
Hi.
this community, but you guys have been great, and I really do appreciate you guys conducting and doing this interview because a lot of people have questions, and I just want to answer them and just put some things to rest as well. Okay. All right. So here, I'm just waiting on a few people. Vanessa, I think we can go ahead and start with you. As people come in, we'll invite them up. Um, Zoe is going to be up first. But so I do want to get an understanding of your artist, correct, Vanetta?
I am. I'm an artist and a collector as well.
Okay. Could you go ahead and state your TikTok handle just so people could find you on?
Yeah, I am Vedega Hills. Vedega Hills.
Mm-hmm.
On TikTok, Instagram. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh,
On all platforms.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you get into the reborn community?
I entered the Reborn community because my niece, who was then 4, she was in therapy and needed a therapy doll. So that's how I found the Reborns. Then I looked at the price of them. I was like, oh my gosh, she's about to get a baby alive. That's what she's getting because I
Mm-hmm.
can't with the prices. But I wanted her to have one so bad. And then I was like, I wonder if I could do it. So I started doing research, and lo and behold, I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I fell in love with the artistry from that point. Um, and then I did the painting and all of that. And then people were really interested in my rooting. So then that's how I got to become the person that does the hair installs for different artists as well as collectors.
And can you tell us a little bit about what it takes to make a reborn doll?
Well, I will tell you,
Sorry, I just
I'm
want.
sorry.
Oh no, that's not me. I'm just going to put everybody on mute just for the sake of no background. But go ahead, Vanita.
Okay. I will tell you, it starts off with a vinyl like this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a blank sculpt. There's no paint on it. You order it from different suppliers that have them. I only support authentic sculpts. So this one came from one that does that. It starts off like this, and then you add many, many layers of paint and shading, and then it turns out like that.
Vanita, what do you mean when you say authentic mold or sculpt?
When I say authentic, I mean not produced like a, dare I say, unauthentic, or one that's not produced by an artist. I think
Okay.
that's the proper way to say it. And And the reason why I support authentic kits is because I have friends that are sculptors and things like that. And so when you buy the unauthentic ones, it takes money out of their pocket. And then it makes it harder for them to come out with more sculpts that we love and all of this.
Okay.
So a lot of times people will order things and they don't realize, you know, that this is not what we do, or maybe they might be trying to save money, but there are other things, alternatives that can be done if you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars. You can do Ashton Drake, you can do Paradise Galleries, Lee Middleton. There's so many different options where you can get less expensive reborns as opposed to ones that you might get. Like Kaylani here is a toddler size and she runs a lot.
Mm-hmm. How much
Based on
approximately?
are we allowed to talk money?
Yes,
I
you
didn't know
you
if we could. Okay.
yes.
Okay. So she would be in your $1,500 range.
Wow, so this is the toddler
Um,
size one?
yeah, this is a toddler size. She's big. She's about
Mm-hmm.
31 inches long, and she is a toddler. They also can vary based on the sculpt. If it's a sold out limited edition, you're going to pay a little bit more for that as well. So this one here that I have, this one here that I have, she's a pickle sculpt by Nikki Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And she will be featured at the Dolls of the World Expo in North Carolina. We'll be there in June.
I
So
saw
she's a
that.
limited edition. And she's also sold out. So that means we can't purchase this sculpt anymore. And if somebody does have a blank, then that means they can put the price up because of that. Then also, this one is also a sold out limited edition. This is a Chantel
Oh,
sculpt by
beautiful.
Natalie Blick.
Mm-hmm.
She is sold out limited edition as well. She will also be available. Matter of fact, I got all sold out limited editions because even the other two that I'm working on now, these are also sold out limited editions. This is Gracie May Awake,
Mm-hmm.
and this is her twin, Gracie May Asleep. So they're both here to get hair and be ready for the doll show.
Okay. And I did see on your page that you frequent a lot of different doll shows. I saw you were at the West Coast Doll Show as well as the Dolls of the World Expo.
Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love going to the doll show. In fact, I'll be teaching a class at DFW. Doll shows are a great place for people to go to have encounters or experiences with these reborn dolls, to actually be able to feel them, hold them, and understand it. Because I think a lot of people in the outside of the community, they don't understand what it's all about. Like they don't understand what it feels like. And I'll tell you, I have been out, just out and about, and I'll have my babies with me. People
Mm-hmm.
hold them immediately. They start rocking them. They're smiling. It releases all kinds of happy endorphins. So it's really helpful for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. And going to a doll show would definitely be a good place to start, as well as to take classes because they have all kinds of classes available. The DFW right now is having, they have all, like if you want to learn how to sculpt, you can
Mm-hmm.
learn how to do that. Thank you so much for the heart. I really appreciate that. If you
Thank
want
you.
to learn how to paint, if you want to learn how to root, I'm doing that class. If you want to learn how to do whatever you want to learn, like as far as these babies are concerned, you can do that at the doll show. So that's
Okay.
why I absolutely love going to them.
And you also paint reborn dolls, correct?
I do. So I have painted, Lord, I don't even know how many I've done. Here lately, I have just been doing the rooting, but I do paint as well. And when I paint, I use air dry paints. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
about to delve into the silicone world. Wow.
Yes, I've seen.
So I'll be painting my first full body silicone probably the end of this month, beginning of January after I'm finished with rooting for the show. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay. And I want to ask Vanita, what are some common misconceptions that you see, people like me that don't know about your community have about you guys?
Um, the biggest thing that I see, which is really sad, and I encounter this on my lives a lot, especially if I'm just showcasing the babies or holding the babies. People want to know, why are you grown playing with a doll? That's one of
Mhm.
the biggest things. And one of the biggest assumptions is, oh, you must not be able to have babies, or oh, you must can't have children. And that is far from what that should be. I do have 4 children. I have 3 grandchildren, and I love them all, and they all support what these dolls do for me therapeutically. So I think that is the biggest misconception, that something must be wrong with you because you're playing with dolls. But I don't see people saying that something's wrong with men who are playing video games, or
Right.
men who are playing with what do you call those, remote control cars,
Mm-hmm.
the VRs. Like, come on now.
Right.
If it makes you happy, it's not hurting anyone. And it only takes a second to be kind to someone, because you don't know what somebody might be going through or what this doll does for me or whatever. But if you would come to a doll show, if you held one, you would definitely understand what it does.
Right. I agree with that too, because just by me doing a little research over the past couple of days, I learned a lot about a whole new world. But I did have one last question for you, Vanita, and I'm going to move on to the next guest. I would like for you to
Okay.
stick around if you can, because I'm going to see if other people have questions for you. And I want to ask, I heard there is like at the doll shows, if someone doesn't have a authentic doll, they cannot come into the expos and the doll show events.
That is true. Because of the same reason that I stated before.
Mm-hmm.
Most doll show exhibitors or hosts, they support 100% authentic babies. And while we know and understand that some people might not be able to afford them, and that's why they may, go for a less expensive option, we have to stand firm with our artists 100%. And
Okay.
that's what we do. Because imagine how you would feel if you were a sculptor. Like, there are many sculptors that attend these shows. If you were a artist, and that baby that you sculpted, that you put your heart and soul into,
Mm-hmm.
what if an unauthentic one came in? How would you feel about that?
Right. I can
You
understand
would
that.
not like it, probably, right?
No, no, not at all.
So that is why we have to stand firm on that. Not and My view on that is, if you want to have an unauthentic baby, that's what you do, and that's fine. But I definitely support 100% authentic babies, and that's something that I have to take into consideration when I'm rooting, because a lot of times people will send me babies and they're like, I have to see a picture of it to make sure that it's proper, and if it's not, then I can't do it, because that's what I believe in.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Vanita. I want you to go ahead and give your handle out one more time, just so everyone knows where to find you, because I'm going to post this on my YouTube as well.
Yeah. So I am Videga Hills, and that's where you can find me.
Okay. Bodega Hills Nursery on TikTok.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to move on to Miss Jellybean. Give me 1 second. So switch this. Hold on. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Miss My Jelly Beans, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing?
Great. So could you go ahead and give us your name and your handle where people could find you?
Yeah, you guys have been calling me Jelly Beans. I'm cool with that.
Okay,
Jelly
that's fine.
Beans. And you can find me here on TikTok and also on Instagram. It's the same handle. So Nayeli dot I'm sorry, yeah, Nayeli dot and dot Ivy.
Okay, thank you. All right, so My jelly bean, how did you get into, well, first of all, I want to ask, are you a collector or an artist?
I'm a collector, but I have been trying to get into rooting more. So,
Okay. And how did you get into the Reborn community? What was your first instance when you said, hey, this is it, I love this?
so I've been collecting reborn since I was like 11, and I'm 27 now. So I've been in the community for a very long time. I started off with a very cheap doll that looked nothing like me, and I just got her because I really wanted a reborn. And then over the years, I've just always had a doll in my collection.
Okay.
I don't
And
know how to put my phone on.
what type, oh, hi, how are you? I'm going to give me about 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and interview my jelly beans, and then I'll get right to you because I know you're on a time difference, okay?
Oh, I don't know if you can hear me, but I don't know how to put my camera on. But yeah, that's fine.
All right, all right. Thank you. All right, Miss Jellybeans, back to you. So I wanted to say, and what various things do you do with your dolls? I saw on your page you like to do a lot of dress up and role plays.
Yeah, so I know when I was little, I used to always watch the YouTube videos of people playing with their dolls and things like that for hours and hours. So now that, I have the time and a little bit more imagination on me, I like to make some role play videos, some um, just thrift find videos that I do, really just showing my collection off.
Okay. And are the babies that you purchase the authentic, or do you dabble into the factory side of things?
Oh no, yeah, no, I definitely support authentic only
Okay.
on the side, yeah.
No, I just had to ask because I know you know that there's people that do both. And these are your two babies. So what are their names?
So I named her Nayeli, and this is Ivy.
Okay. Yes, I see that on your page. So I wanted to ask, you posted about having forever newborns. What does that term mean? Just that they'll forever be babies because of the fact that they are newborns? I mean reborns.
Yeah, it was kind of just like a play on the word dolls because they don't age. So I thought it would be cute to say that she's gonna be my newborn forever, especially because real parents always wish they could keep their babies forever. So I thought it was just a cute little caption.
Okay. And I wanted to say, I saw that you also go thrifting for your reborn babies.
Yeah, so pretty much like I would say like 97% of their clothes are all thrifted or secondhand.
And if you wouldn't allow, I mean, and if you wouldn't mind letting us know how much did you pay for these dolls? Because I know they could be a little bit expensive, right?
Yeah, so Nayeli was like 1100 and Ivy was I think 950.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
Um, so as far as like your family and friends, do they like welcome this hobby, or do they think it's a little bit strange?
Um when I was little, it was like everyone knew I just love babies, so it was really nothing for me to bring a doll or have a doll in my room. As I got older, I think they're like a little bit surprised that I still have them,
Hmm.
but they, for the most part, they don't really mind it. They come over if they're sitting out, they just walk past like it's nothing.
Okay. And if you could say one thing to the people that are not in this community that have negative things to say, like what would you say to them to just like negate some of the hate that you guys receive?
I think I would just say like everybody has their hobbies, and like I really personally don't think there's an age limit on a lot of things. So I feel like you can say something bad about everyone's hobby. Oh, you like to golf, that's for old people, or you like to do this, that's for that. So everybody has their things, and this doesn't have to be for you.
Hmm. Thank you very much, Miss Jellybean. We're going to move on to the next person. You can stay around if you would like, because at the end we're going to have a Q&A. So if you have time, you can stay in, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, give me 1 second. Mm, Hello, Miss. Could you just go ahead and say your name for everyone and your TikTok handle so they know where to find you?
Hi, yeah, thank you for having me on. I'm Zoe, and my handle is at Small Miracles by Zoe Miller.
All right, thank you very much for joining us, Miss Miller. I know that it's a time difference, so I just want to go ahead and move you to the top. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
taking the time. So I want to know, are you a collector or an artist within the
Both.
industry? Okay. And I saw on your page you also said that you are a reborn advocate as well, right?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about what that means?
So I advocate the use of reborns for people who use them as reborn therapy. I'm a voice. I help people have courage. There's a few sides to the reborn community. And there's obviously people who are not so kind to those who use these as therapy, because first and foremost, we have to remember these are works of art. They're not toys. They cost hundreds to thousands. And some of us, including myself, use these for reborn therapy purposes. So I started building a community was it 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 2 years ago, coming up for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's given people a safe space to come, to share their reborns, to speak up, and to not feel that negativity about having one.
All right. I appreciate that. And like as far as like the mental health part of it concerns about like the therapy, how does it help individuals in the community? Like how does it suit them?
It's a huge umbrella as to why people have these for therapy. I mean, I have people come to me who sadly have lost their children, buried their children, had miscarriages, lost their children to the system. I also have people who come to me who have anxiety, mental health. I also have people who come to me whose family member has dementia and or Alzheimer's. People who has physical health. The umbrella is really, really big. And not one size fits all. We all come without judgment, and it's to help people. So everybody's story is different. And we always say, nobody knows anyone's story but their own.
And thank you very much, Zoe. And I wanted to know, how many reborn dolls do you have currently in your collection?
A few. I have probably 10 on display.
Mm-hmm.
Some behind me here.
Okay, I see them.
I have about 20 in my studio. I have one specific. I just grabbed this little man for the camera.
He looks so real.
I have one specific baby that I use for my own therapy purposes.
Thank you.
I have something called multiple sclerosis, which gives me anxiety, especially if I'm in hospital or going for appointments or maybe going out. I also use the pram to help me if my balance isn't good or whatever. And it's my silicone. So I've got a couple of silicones as well as the vinyl reborns.
Okay. And do you currently have any children of your own, or the reborns are your babies?
Yes, I have 6 children grown up, and I have 7 grandchildren.
Oh wow, big family, big family. And what does your family think about your hobby?
They totally support me. It's not for them. They appreciate the art side of it, don't they? Mm-hmm. Like if I'm making one for somebody, and because I also gift them as well for people who I know will benefit from them in the reborn therapy community. I gift a lot of reborns that I make. Mm-hmm. So my kids appreciate the artwork. My grandchildren, however, adore them, don't they? Absolutely love them. Love getting involved, love holding them, but they know they're grandma's babies and they're not to be touched unless I say so and I help, because obviously they're not toys.
And I forgot to ask Miss Venita this, but how long does it take to construct a reborn doll? Like approximately, like the hours?
So rooting the hair, so a head of hair can take up to 90 hours. I mono root, so it's only one hair at a time. The painting can take, it depends if I go out in my studio, if I was well enough and I go out every day, I could paint one and have it done in a week or two. But if I'm poorly and I can only manage one day and I don't go out there for another week, then it can take a few weeks. I do say up to 16 weeks with rooting and painting, personally for myself because of my ill health. But otherwise, it can, if I'm good, it could take a couple of weeks and then another 90 hours added on that for the rooting.
Okay. Okay. And I saw when I was browsing on your page a bit, you offer education for the doll therapy. So do you have classes or anything that you promote?
No, I don't have classes. What my partner and myself do, we have a community chat where people get together and if they want to learn, they learn. I also do lives where, because you get a lot of, I don't like saying the word, but you get a lot of hate because people don't understand. So when they give you that negative hate, they're coming from a place of fear because they're seeing something that they don't understand. So I offer education on that side of it. And if people want to learn more, they're welcome to come to me and I will answer any questions. I will help them to understand. I also do tutorials for painting, but that's on my sub only. So I do reborn painting tutorials, rooting tutorials. But the education side of it, I find is really important. And a lot of people do come back to me, don't they? And they say, I'm really sorry. I did a video probably about a week ago where somebody had called me a really, because you get called some really nasty names, especially males. And I put one of their comments up and I done a reply to it via a video, and that person actually came back and apologized tenfold and was like, I didn't know, I didn't understand, thank you for helping me to understand, I get it now, it's not for me, but I get it. I think education for people who don't understand is really important in this community, the reborn therapy community.
Yes, I think so too, because even I've gained a lot more respect about you guys' community. It's a work of art that you guys do, and some of the other reborn parents collect. It's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
And I also saw that you stated something about adoption for the reborn dolls. So, like, if you wanted to sell or maybe give someone, is there a process, or is just like it's just being sold? Like, is it a process for that person to get a doll?
So for my business side of things, I do customs. So somebody will pay me for a custom baby. I'll create that baby, and then that baby would be adopted by the person who's asked me to customize it. On my gifting side of things, it's not so much as a process. It's really hard to explain. I've gifted many reborns. And sometimes we choose like a subscriber to gift to. So we'll do like a wheel on a Google reel, and it will pick a number, and the person who has that number is the lucky person who gets gifted a reborn baby. Someone we're gifting to for reasons for reborn therapy and strictly only for that therapy. I get thousands of messages across all my social medias. And we kind of get like a gut instinct about someone, don't we? Yeah. And we like that person, and then we'll talk about it, we'll do a little bit of research, and then we will offer the person, and then they will come back to us and say like, oh yes, thank you, or no thank you, whatever. And then we do a big box opening, and then the baby goes off and is adopted by that person. As a process as such, there isn't really a process. Like, people ask me if there's a list for the gifting. There isn't a list. It's just as and when I'm able and when we can. I'd like to have more reborn artists on board to do this. Trying my hardest to set up a non-profit we're sort of getting there, aren't we? But yeah, there's not really a process as such, but that's how it goes.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a few, like two more questions, and I'll go to the next person. I saw on your page too that you aren't allowed to return the handmade reborn dolls, like once someone purchases it.
No,
And why is that?
because it's artwork made for them. So unless there's an actual fault with the baby, like say, I don't know, I forgot to glue the herring or something, then fair enough. But otherwise, it's art and it goes off to that person, and that's what they asked for. That's what I made. That's what I created. That's for them. You can't have buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse is not my problem or any artist's problem. There is a thing called buyer's remorse where a person who maybe is new to the community, new to the Reborns, looks at lots of Reborns online, goes to an artist, doesn't do their research, whatever, pays however much, gets the baby and realizes, oh, actually, it doesn't look that real, I'm going to send it back. It's called buyer's remorse. And no artist will refund a baby unless there is a fault with the baby, but they are 100% checked over before they even leave any artist.
Okay,
And then they're insured in the post. So if anything was to go wrong in the post service, they're insured for the amount of money that they are worth. They are insured. So if anything went wrong via the post, then that's covered as well.
Okay, that's understandable. I also wanted to ask your take on the authentic reborns versus the factory and give us some education. Miss Vanita, who is also an artist, she gave us a bit of education on too, but I wanted to know your perspective.
So I don't judge anybody for having Amazon babies or wherever you may get them. However, I do not support counterfeit babies. Now, these are created by somebody who's very talented, who takes their time in their home. They start off as a piece of clay. I'm sculpting my own now as we speak. They are a piece of clay. It is so much hard work goes into it. So to have a factory or another person copy your baby, I just don't think that's okay. No more than a Claude Monet painting that has been copied and sold. I just don't think it's okay. And not only that, they are made in all these are made in factories, limited edition mostly. Then when they are copied, there's like hundreds and thousands of them on AliExpress or Amazon. They're made with toxic material. So if people do their research, they will know that they are toxic. So vinyl is toxic when you heat it anyway. I'm a heat set paint artist, so I use heat set. So the vinyl gets heated as it's set in the paint. So you do that in a well ventilated area. When they are creating the vinyl, the counterfeits, the vinyl itself is made with toxic materials. So that's another thing. But I do not agree with it because it's not fair to the people who make these very well made babies. I don't think it's okay. Counterfeits is not okay. But I don't judge people if they have them. I do understand when people say, well, I can't afford that much money, so I spent this much money. That's up to them. But I don't support it. I say, well, that money you paid for that, if you'd have saved that 3 times over, you could have got a nice second-hand one, a nice pre-loved one, and got a proper one and supported the artists, supported our sculptors. So that's my view on it. That's my take on it. But without judgment, I don't judge anybody.
Okay. All right. And one last question, and we're going to go on to India. Ms. Zoe, how much, what is the most you ever paid for one of your reborn babies?
A few thousand.
Okay. Is that one of the silicone ones?
Yeah, for a vinyl, 1,500. For a silicone, 3,500 ish.
Wow. Wow.
I'm saying ish because my partner's sitting there like,
Like, what's the answer?
she's like, what?
All right. Well, so I want to thank you for joining us. I know you guys were at a different time zone, but I really do appreciate you coming in and giving us your take.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I actually want to stay on to see, I've just noticed you've got, I'm so sorry, sir, I forgot your name, the Reborn Dad.
Oh, strong hands. Yes.
Yes. I see here you come on my view page. I want to stick around and see him before I go.
Oh, yes. No problem at all. No problem. All right. So, India, darling, you are up next. Let me just switch the spot. Here we go. Give me 1 sec. I'm being technically challenged. All right, here we are. All right, India, could you go ahead and say your TikTok handle? And thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, you can follow me on almost all platforms at Dreaming of Darlings.
Okay, and are you a collector or an artist?
Both. I actually just started painting about 2 months ago, and I made both of these babies.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
What made you get into the Reborn community?
I've always liked dolls. Like as a kid, I've always been like baby crazy. And I experienced child loss about 10 years ago, which actually isn't even the reason. Thank you. Child loss is what helped me find Reborns, but really I fell in love with the artistry and just how cool they are and comforting, and the fact that I can put these two bad boys down and they can just stay there and I can go live my life.
Right. I understand that too. So I saw when I was doing a little research, you make your own dolls as well. Like these two are your creations?
Yes, I also purchase from artists occasionally. I currently have one artist baby. But yes, I have wanted to start making more affordable ethnic dolls because with the authenticity debate, I do understand that we are in hard economical times. And I do feel like authentic babies should be available at different budgets because I may not have the realism down that some of these amazing artists do, but I think they're beautiful.
So since you're starting off, yours are priced a little less until you get better or proficient.
Yes, but also I want to make quote unquote budget babies that may not have that quite realism, but remain affordable. So my budget babies would be really under 500
Okay.
instead of getting towards that higher end.
And these are vinyl, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm learning some stuff. See.
Yeah, look at you.
And let me see. So I saw on one of your posts that you stated that becoming a reborn artist has kind of destroyed your love for the hobby a bit.
Yes and no. I do think collecting and then learning to paint changed my viewpoint. I really had to take a step back from painting because I find myself looking at a lot of imperfections in my own work, comparing myself to these master artists who have been doing this for years. And so I think that did kind of dim some of my love, but I also am brand new. So it's been difficult to allow myself to be in the skill set that I'm in, if that makes sense.
That sounds like a perfectionist.
Yeah,
No, I
definitely.
understand. I understand. And how does your family receive your hobby with the Reborn community?
My wife actually really loves the hobby. I have convinced her to get her own as well soon. So, yay. The rest of my family, my mom thinks it's cool. My in-laws don't really understand it, but they also don't judge it because at the end of the day, everybody has to live their own life and do what makes them happy. And if this is what makes me happy, why would it hurt?
All right. I understand that. I agree with that as well. Um, And I want to ask you something a little bit controversial. You stated that you feel like the new reborn community can be a bit toxic. on one of your posts. I just wanted to ask, like, could you elaborate on that, or if you didn't feel comfortable, it's okay too.
Um, I feel this way about any community because we do receive a lot of hate from outside of the community, and I do feel like within the community there is a lot of comparisons, because it's one thing to do it to yourself, but to have someone else come on a post and be like, "Oh, your baby isn't as cute as mine." Thankfully, this hasn't been something that I have experienced personally, but I
Mm-hmm.
have seen it scrolling through. And I mean, that just goes again with the authenticity debate. And I do understand the importance of authenticity, but I can't be the judge or the condemner or the executioner for anyone
Mm-hmm.
else's choices.
I understand. I understand that because I did see a few posts relative to what you were saying, like, a little bit of division. But what I saw was as it relates to the authentic babies versus,
Yeah.
yeah, what's your take on that?
I in my own collection only paint and buy authentic, but I am
Hmm.
not going to judge someone else for what they buy. I will educate, gently educating someone, but I won't be like, "Oh, you're a horrible person and you don't deserve to be in this community," because you really never know what someone else is living through at any given
Right.
time.
Hmm. All right, India, thank you very much. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
the next person. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say? Your handles or where you sell your products or where they could find you?
Right now, just on TikTok, at Dreaming of Darlings.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Join us. You can stick around for, as long as you can because we're going to do a Q&A too. All right. So let me see. We have Perfect Choice up next. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Here we are. Perfect Choice. How are you?
Great. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for inviting me to this panel.
Thank you for joining us. Could you go ahead and state your full TikTok handle so everyone will know where to find you?
I can be found on all social media platforms at Perfect Choice Reborns and more.
Okay, thank you for that. So, could you go ahead and let us know well, first, let us know if you're a collector or an artist.
I am a collector only. I do dabble a little bit in painting, but I wouldn't say I'm proficient enough at this point to call myself an artist at this point. It's a lot of work that goes into that. Those are big britches to fill, so I won't say that I am an artist at this point, but
Okay, so you're on your way or trying to at least, right?
I dabble and dabble, but nothing too big.
And what got you into the reborn community? What said, okay, this is it. I love this. I love this hobby.
Well, I mean, I've always been a doll collector. I'm also a avid Barbie collector. So I've always collected dolls ever since I was a little girl. I had a doll that would have been considered back in the 80s a reborn. Her name is Jenny. I still have her. I've had her since I was 2 years old. Um, Anybody around my age would know it was those crier babies that you rock back and forth when they cry. So
Mm-hmm.
I have one of those. I still have her. So I've always had a love for that, and it just kind of developed into me discovering the reborn community around 2013. At that time, I wasn't able to afford a reborn, and I just kind of watched and admired from afar. And then in 2022, I got my first reborn.
Okay. And as far as like your dolls, I saw on your page that you have like full size dolls. You have newborn, like reborn dolls. So how many do you have in your collection?
Well, this is
Oh
a few
God,
here. You started right at the meat of everything.
that's
um,
that's a whole cabbage patch.
I also have these here. So I have a full nursery
Wow, a
um
nursery.
of dolls. And I have maybe uh right now I might have maybe 35.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I've been busy.
You have been. And is this like for you, like would you consider this like your form of therapy? Um like, the collecting?
No, it's not therapy. I love dolls. It's not therapy, but it is soothing at the same time. It's almost like I do also love babies. I love infants. I did have a daycare, and my love is mostly infants. So it's like being able to have a small baby that never grows up. I can dress them, I can pose them, I can take pictures, I can cuddle with them, I can hold them. And then I can put them down and leave and go to Hawaii on vacation for 10 days, and I don't have to worry about Child Protective Services coming to lock me up.
Exactly. And I see you have, I didn't see how many dolls you have, but you have a lot of clothes for your reborns as well. Like they got more clothes than me.
I mean, I am also a shopaholic, and shopping, being a photographer, a clothes designer, all that comes along with this hobby and also with Barbies. So I love fashion anyway. So I also have a lot of clothes, and so do my real children.
Okay. And as far as the conversation about authentic, and did I ask you that already? The
No.
authentic, okay, the authentic and the factory reborn conversation goes, where do you stand on that? Like, are all your dolls authentic dolls, or do you have a mix of the two?
All my dolls are authentic
Mm-hmm.
dolls. I support authentic art for many reasons. One, because yes, it does take a lot to go into the sculpting and the pouring of the clay and the making of the clay and sculpting and pouring, and then the artists come after the sculpture and they have to meticulously root like Miss Vanita, and then they have to paint. And it's a lot that goes into creating that realism. So for me, authentic for me means I can get the most realistic looking baby possible. Not perfection, but realistic. Like this baby here, she has the baby marks and all that on here. I just
Beautiful.
don't feel like I can find that in a factory made doll. And that's not what I'm going for. I don't knock anybody else who collects factory made dolls. If that's what you can afford, then that's what you can afford. I don't support counterfeit at all. Once you get into the meat of it, and I do know that everything is counterfeited in the US. You have purses that are counterfeited, jewelry that are counterfeited, shades.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes deep, but it's just the whole respecting the artistry of it all and the time that it takes. It takes hours to achieve this. So if I had to make a choice, my choice is to be an authentic collector for those various reasons.
Okay. And what is the most, if you want to disclose, that you've ever paid?
Girl.
Matter of fact, how much do you think your whole collection is worth, and how much is the most you've ever paid?
Whoo, my whole collection, probably quite over 15K.
Wow.
The most I've paid, the most I've actually paid is 3,000. The
Hmm.
most I probably would pay would probably be 5.
Okay.
And
And
that would be a silicone.
that's what I was about to ask. Do you have any of the silicone babies, or are these silicone, or are these
These are vinyl, but if you guys will walk with me really quickly, I do have a few silicones. He is silicone.
and what makes it silicone is the material utilized to create the baby, right? More realistic?
Um, Realism can be on both ends, and it cannot be on both ends. It just depends on the artist. This is a silicone baby as well.
Okay.
Um, they are they feel more real. The feel, they'll warm up if you hold them long enough. Um, they can take a full pacifier in the mouth. Like I can give her this passy. She can take a bottle. I wouldn't actually feed it to her, which goes into people thinking that we buy all the baby formula. We do not give these
Mm.
babies real baby formula. It would destroy the artwork. So I mean,
Yeah, that was something I saw too. Why was that a conversation amongst the people that are like me that don't know anything? Like, what brought that up? Was someone using like fake formula and they thought it was real?
I mean, you may have real formula as a prop, but it could be something that's expired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go out and buy $30 can of formula to use as a prop.
Right.
That's not gonna happen. So I may have a bottle like one of those newborn, let's say I have one here. I have some here.
Mm-hmm.
And they're expired. They're 3 years old. These are expired. I found these with someone, they were gonna throw them out and they're expired.
Okay.
They're props, but I wouldn't go out and buy these, brand new milk for them to sit up and expire just for a prop for a baby. Or you may have a can of formula powder, but it's expired. Probably has maggots or mealworms or whatever inside of the
Yeah,
can
and if you
right now.
open it up, it's gonna smell real bad too.
Right, it's terrible, but it's a prop. It may even be empty. It may be barrettes in it or anything. But we don't utilize real formula for these babies. Now, you may have some radical somewhere because, of course, it's some of that in every community that does something just outlandish. But you can't take the whole community and throw us in the bag and judge us for that.
Hmm.
You know.
And I want to ask, I see you do host TikTok lives. Like, what do you guys typically talk about? Is it reborn moms? Because I did see one of your lives on your page.
Uh-huh.
So what?
Yeah, we have a good time. We may have gone on an outing or dressing our babies, talking about different things with our babies. Sometimes we're not talking about babies. It just depends on what we have going on at the time.
Okay, give me 1 second, Miss JJ. I'm just muting you until it's time. It's almost your turn. Thank you for coming too, Miss JJ. Excuse me. And is there anything? This is the last question. Any common misconceptions that other people have about your community that you want to put to rest?
That we don't have families and children of our own. For some reason, people ask that a lot in the live. They go, "Oh, well, do you not have kids or you can't have kids?" Dolls have nothing to do with having real families. Just because we like dolls. Nobody asks the guy in the basement collecting rocks, does he have a family because he sits in his basement playing with rocks, or the guy who sits on the couch and plays with his game all day. Nobody asks, does he go pick his kids up from school? It just seems like it's a misconception with women that if we still play with dolls at an adult age, or we still love dolls, that nobody loves us and we're barren. And that's not the case. I have 3 beautiful children. I have children that are school age kids. They're not adults, and I still take care of them just as well as I play with my dolls. They all accept it. My family knows I collect dolls. I have an aunt who's a doll collector, so it's not as taboo as people think, and it's not as weird as people think. And if it's weird to you, just move on.
Right, right. Well, Ms. Perfect Choice, I want to thank you very much for joining us. You can stick around in the panel. At the end, we're going to have a little Q&A, and I would like for you to be here if you can.
Okay, sure.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Stronghands, I'm so sorry. You've been here for a while, but you're up next. Let me just adjust. Okay. All right, Mr. Stronghands, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you for your patience. Go ahead and state your TikTok handle and any other social medias you may have so the people know where to find you.
Absolutely. It's Strong Hands Reborn Dad. You can find me on most every social media platform, particularly Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at Strong Hands Reborn Dad.
Okay, thank you. So I want to know what sparked your interest to enter the Reborn community?
I've watched from afar for many, many, many years, clear back to when I was even in college and all of that. And I I was brought up in a really traditional family. Boys were taught we don't play with dolls, and that's what girls do. And but see, as a kid, just give you the 30-second elevator on this because it's a little complicated. But as a kid, I was bullied a lot. I'm visually impaired. I'm actually considered legally blind, and I was bullied a lot as a young kid. And I think it probably started at least to some rudimentary because my closest friends as a kid were girls. And
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of did what the girls did. And, that involved playing with dolls or doing whatever. But it wasn't just that. It was just, hanging out with them because, they were nice and some of them were my closest friends. And, but as I grew up, I let it go. We moved and put it away for a long time. And as an adult, when I was talking to my then girlfriend about it, she said that it wasn't for her. She kind of understood it a little bit, but I hadn't actually bought anything, and she knew I watched some of the Reborn channels even back then. But it's only been this last year that I actually pulled the trigger and actually bought it. But what I found, and I was chatting with my I have a psychiatrist and therapist to kind of help with some things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was chatting with her about it. I said, what do you think if I were to buy one? And she's like, are you kidding? I love it. And she got into her whole thing. Like she actually used to gift dolls to people. Like she was into the reborn doll hobby, and I didn't know that about her.
Mm.
So she kind of encouraged me a little bit. And then I got my first one. And I learned a lot because my first one was a manufactured doll who I later found out is one of the companies that has at least been accused of stealing sculpts and all of that. And I keep that doll around because it still means a lot. It's my first. It's a full body silicone.
Mm-hmm.
And the one of the cool things about silicone and those particular types of dolls for me is because I'm visually impaired, I appreciate the touch and the feel of the dolls a bit more. You probably noticed while I was waiting, I kind of fidget a little bit. I like to fidget with their little toes and their little fingers. So that's very grounding for me just to have that in my arms. And I found that it's really helped my anxiety quite a bit. My mind races a lot. And it's actually even helped me step back from some medication that I was on previously.
Okay. I would like to ask, I saw on your page that you do take your dolls out in public. Well, matter of fact, you said there's a reason why you don't take them out. Could you let us know why you don't take them out? Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I don't take my dolls out in public, and a couple reasons for that. One, the biggest one is because I'm visually impaired, because it's also not my wife's thing. I'm usually with her, and I'm usually with my son. I don't want to create awkwardness for them if somebody should ask. I also don't want people to assume that they're my wife's, even though they're not. And then it's also a safety thing because obviously, as a guy, I think that I have to deal with a little bit more criticism and I guess a little bit more scrutiny, if you will, because of that as a male reborn doll collector. And
What
I've
type of
always,
what type of
yeah.
scrutiny do you receive behind that? Just like the typical boys don't play with dolls type of thing, or something else?
No, it gets worse, particularly on TikTok, and I've got very strong filters in my comments because of it.
Mhm.
But I won't say it live here just because of filters, but I'll say that people have said, well, I hope you don't go near elementary schools or check his hard drives, that kind of thing. And
Mm.
because people's minds kind of go there, and I guess that's just a result of the world we live in. But I even had one gal early on when I first went public on YouTube. She posted a comment. She found my information. She ran a background check just to make sure I wasn't on some sort
Wow,
of registry. And I
you
laughed a
was
little bit. I'm like,
arrested.
nope. And
Yeah.
the other thing is, I work in broadcasting. I'm a public on-air personality for a radio station that I own and operate.
Hmm.
And so I live in the public space. So I thought, if anyone's going to go public and be able to handle public criticism about this, it's probably me. And I wanted to be a voice for other men. And as I found out these past few months since I went public in January, there are other men in this hobby. Not a huge amount, but about 30% of my audience is actually male.
Mm. And like, what type of things do they discuss? Is it like the same, being afraid of the same scrutiny that you receive, or just the guys and the dolls thing in general? Like, is there other things?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of those things because they're afraid of the judgment. They're afraid of
Mhm.
what their family and friends might think. But I just released this video today. I got a comment last week or so from a Marine Corps veteran, and he is a working cowboy. He rides Harley Davidsons. He, like I said, he's a military
Family
veteran who's
man. Yeah.
served combat duty, and at night, he has a couple reborn dolls that he brings out because they help him, and they help him deal with the something positive to focus on than all the death and mayhem that he'd experienced. So that really touched me, particularly because he's the exact audience that I wanted to reach when I started this. Because these dolls have helped me, and I'm finding that they're helping other men just the same way, and we have same motivations as women do. I have my son. I miss when he was little. This is a bit nostalgic for me, remembering back to when he was a baby and getting to hold him, um, and so yeah, it's a lot of that. I appreciate the artistry. The particular doll I'm holding right now, this is the Sarah sculpt. She took 3 months to get to me. From when I ordered her from an artist. She is a custom partial silicone with hand rooted mohair. There were about 4 different artists total that worked on this doll.
Wow. And how many dolls do you have in your collection?
Active collection right now, I have 5 of them.
Okay. And what is the most that you've paid for one of your dolls?
Yeah, I just posted about that a couple weeks ago. This doll right here, she is my most expensive at $2,000.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
And I did see that on your page, you share your hobby with your son as well, right?
Yeah, because as a kid I was brought up very strict, and my mother actually caught me one time. I think I was about 7 years old. All I was doing, I found some old pull-ups in the closet, and I was changing a teddy bear and putting a diaper on it. And my mother kind of, I remember, freaked out a little bit on me. And I just wanted my son to know that he's free to play with toys as long as he's playing with them appropriately. I didn't really want to set hard gender standards, particularly with baby dolls. And
Mm-hmm.
so he has one doll now. He's getting a little bigger. He just turned 9. And so he's got one doll that he still keeps around. He calls him Rocket.
Okay.
um, and yeah, he's definitely a manufactured doll. We're not stepping into the world of buying him $2,000 dolls yet.
Okay. So, and he's liking it. So, like, I guess when he gets older, you're gonna see if he can handle it.
Yeah, we'll see, and see if he's still interested in it. And right now, it's more or less a curiosity, something that he does when he's just chilling. And especially if he sees me holding one, and he knows with my collection, much the same way the other collector and artist said, he knows to ask me first before he just goes and grabs them, because again, they're not toys.
Okay. All right. And one last question. I saw you had a YouTube video talking about the real versus the fake dolls. Can you
Hmm.
discuss that a little bit?
Yeah, so recently I was approached by a company who wanted to do a sponsorship with me. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to mention that name. Yeah, you guys can look it up if you want. But this company reached out to me. I know historically this company has had a bad reputation within the authentic reborn doll community. And I just wanted to see, because again, my background is in broadcast. I've got a journalism background as well. I actually wanted to question and ask and poke around to see if the allegations that were against this company, particularly because I have been scammed in the past by Chinese manufactured dolls. And I wanted to see if they were all could be grouped together, or if there was some distinction that could be made between manufactured companies who mass produce dolls. There's no getting around that. I'm not saying that they're what I would call reborn dolls, but they could be considered lifelike dolls. I wanted to see if the allegations were true. And I asked so many people. I've asked many artists. I talked to different collectors. I researched into the safety standards that these companies have to go to because of allegations of toxicity. And the company that I was chatting with actually was more than open with me. They sent me all of their safety certificates because being registered in the United States as a toy company, they actually have to pass certain safety standards with their dolls in order to sell their products in the United States. They, while couldn't directly prove, they told me in a direct quote that I used that they have their own in-house artists, that they don't, this particular company does not reference existing sculpts, that they have their own in-house staff that actually do it, and the photography is in-house. I don't want to take too much time, but one important thing that I have seen that is a huge problem in the reborn doll space is this, where some companies, particularly companies that take advantage of especially new people into the hobby, they will take photos off of artists' websites and they will post them on their own website in the product listing and claim it as their own. And then in reality, you actually don't get the doll that you were promised. And so these companies that are out there, they do exist. And I have been victim myself of that. And so I've been, because I have a background in, not only in broadcasting, but in IT, I've been building software actually that when a photo is uploaded to a website or is shared on social media, it to the pixel level can actually put a watermark on that image. And also we have tracking systems in online websites now that I can use. So I can actually see and track and prevent scraping from bots that might be trying to misuse these photos. So that's one way I've been trying to give back to the community, is building technology that can help protect artists and their work, and particularly their photos.
Okay. And one last question, and then we're going to move on to Miss JJ. What is a misconception you want to clear up that people like me that don't know anything about you guys have about the reborn community?
I think the people who talked before me covered quite a bit of them. So I'll specifically say about for the males, please don't judge us particularly. Just like you're doing right now, listening to me talk and hearing my story. Ask questions. If you come at it from a respectful standpoint and try to understand, if you happen to find another guy who you find out has a reborn doll, or has another hobby even that maybe doesn't fit the stereotypical mold, just ask questions and try not to rush to judgment first.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Stronghands. Go ahead and drop your handle one more time so the people know where
Yeah,
to find you.
absolutely. At Strong Hands Reborn Dad. And you can also go to stronghandsreborndad.com and you can see all of my dolls and their photos. And I post all the information I have on them, including sculpts, kits, artists, all of it. So you can go check it out there.
Thank you very much. All right, Miss JJ, you're up next. After Miss JJ, we're going to move on to the Q&A. I want to thank everyone very much for the gifts, for the taps, for the shares. I really appreciate you guys gifting the panel, and I appreciate the panelists gifting me as well. I saw you guys too. Thank you. All right, Miss JJ, how are you? You want me to call you JJ for the interview, or you want to provide your name?
Well, my name is Jennifer, and you can call me JJ. I don't really have a whole lot to say because I'm kind of nervous, but
Me too.
and I don't know why, because I really love being on lives, but I think that a lot of people really do need to know a lot more before they start judging and making the posts and the comments, because this is a hobby. We're just having fun. And I feel that the comments are I've seen some comments that just was like, okay, this is not that serious to like go out and actually try to like hurt people's feelings and stuff. I've been in this hobby since 2020, and I have, definitely seen it change a lot through the
Mm-hmm.
years. And it kind of pushed me back a little bit from the hobby because of like the postings and the comments and just the reactions. Like when I would take my babies out, like, people are looking at me and actually people would come up to me and be like, "Why are you carrying around that doll? Like, are you crazy?" and all this stuff. And it's like, it put me back a little bit where I didn't even want to take my dolls out. And finally, when my niece was telling me, you probably need to you know, just go on to some other platforms and and try to meet some other people that are into the same hobby that you're into, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I downloaded TikTok, and from there I kind of got back into got my feel for the community again, and I've been making a lot of friends on here, and it's been great. But I mean, I think people just need to be mindful of, how they come at people, because you don't know someone's walk of life, and you just this is our hobby. This is something fun for us, and we don't need to feel, like we have like an issue or something. That's why we're taking out babies, dolls.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's a little bit about what I want to say because I'm nervous, but
I
I
know,
mean,
but
that's
I
my
want you to say what we skipped over something, Jennifer. Give the people your handle for TikTok, like how you pronounce. I mean, spell it out for
Oh,
them. So,
JJ Tiz.
mm-hmm.
It's JJ Tiz.
Okay.
JJ well dot. Oh, do you want me to spell it all out or just it's
Yes,
called
yes.
I'm
Just spell.
JJ Tiz.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to. I
JJ
saw
Tiz. JJ dot Tizzi.
CZI. Yes, and you're a collector, right?
Yes, I'm a collector. Reborn
Okay.
mom.
And I also see that you make pacifier clips, right? Designer ones, and
Oh yes.
yeah, I thought they
Oh
were really
yeah, I
nice.
do that. Yeah, I do make pacifier clips. I bling out pacifiers, bottles, um, like the little accessories, for the babies and stuff.
Hmm.
I don't have it. I mean, I don't have any right here right now because I'm on the West Coast, and I didn't realize this was already started. So I was like, "Oh my goodness, I need to get on here." So I
It's
don't. I could take you and show you some of my stuff, but I don't want to do all
it's
that.
okay.
Not right now. I
It's
don't want to do
okay.
that right now. But yeah, I do make those little things like that, and it's another one of my hobbies.
No, it's okay. And do you purchase
Oh, here's
only?
one of them. Sorry.
Yes.
Since we gonna jump off of it,
It's
here's one
nice.
of them.
I saw she. If guys check her out, she even has the designer ones. They are. You have a lot of them, and the blinged out bottles
Oh
I
yeah.
saw too. Oh,
Yeah, I do. I do more than just the fabric ones. I do. Here I go. I said I didn't want to talk about it, but
what you getting?
once I get talking, I mean, see, I get excited. I'm excited about this hobby. I love this hobby.
How many
Yeah, I do
reborn
like the
dolls do
beaded
you have?
ones too.
How
How
many?
many dolls do I have?
Yeah, how many do you have in your collection or your
Oh,
nursery?
I don't know. I have a lot. I'm one of those um, yeah, I have collected over the years so many dolls that I don't even actually know how many I have.
Wow. Okay, and
Yeah.
do you collect only authentic dolls, or do you also collect the factory ones as well?
I collect both.
Okay. And what is your take on the community as it relates to the stigma behind purchasing the factory dolls?
Well, I'm gonna buy what I want to buy. Is my money, and I do feel sorry about like some of these when they call them copy kits or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, if it's the right price, I'm buying it.
Right. And for the purpose of the people in the chat that don't know much about the community, the word
Hmm.
rooting means like the eyelashes in the hair, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And this baby has rooted eyelashes.
Oh, wow.
And that's Ebony.
That's the designer.
No, her name. That's her
Her name
name.
is
I can't
Ebony.
remember
Okay.
her kid. Yeah, I can't
Okay.
remember her kid name, but that's her name. Her name's Ebony.
Okay. All right. And All right, so we're gonna move on to the Q&A. Anything else you wanted to say, Miss Jennifer?
Um, Hi everybody. I'm so glad that you guys are on here and sharing, and thank you for having me on here too.
Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate your participation. This is like it's really interesting.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Okay, so I want to ask any of the participants that are currently on the panel, is there anything I missed that you guys have anything to say about? You have any, like, throughout their interview, was there something that, you guys wanted to add before we move on to the Q&A? Thank you guys for the gifts. All right, so if someone wants to come up and ask a question, we have a few panelists left. Keep the questions respectful. Also, just no judgment. If curiosity is good here. Anybody want to come up? Don't be shy. I've learned a lot. I feel like I want to get the silicone ones. I thought were well, the vinyl ones as well. I just thought it was so amazing. Oh, there's a few people in the request. Okay, we're gonna let up Twinkle.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello,
Twinkle.
Twinkle. How
Hey,
are you?
Tempest.
Hey.
How you doing
I
today, Miss Twinkle?
I know some of the people on the panel. So like
Mhm.
I know Vanita, I know Choice. I don't know if I know, I think I know Jazzy Tiz too.
Mhm.
So
Hey, Tempest.
I didn't really have anything that I wanted to ask them because I know I'm with them. I just kind of wanted to
Right.
elaborate with what they were saying
Mhm.
as far as with the community and like the preconceptions,
Mhm.
as people think that if you collect that, something's wrong with you, or you have like a disability, or you lost a child, or you can't have children. And a lot of the time when we go outside with the dolls, you get mixed reactions, and that's why a lot of people are afraid to take their dolls out because they're scared of what other people are going to say. You know, I lived in New York and now I live in Jersey. So being in New York, it's a wider range of people, and I got a lot of different reactions, but to be honest, most of them were good. People were like amazed by the artistry, and they were like, wow, I never seen something like that before. I've only probably got one or two bad instances, like where people were like, you're going to hell, but
For what?
yeah. I had one lady, she was like, you're the spawn of the devil. So you do get that. And then I know like there was a trending thing with people on this saying that the reborns are growing hair.
Oh yes, what about that? Give first of all, let the people in the chat know, because just in case they're not a part of the community, Twinkle.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so there's a video surfacing on TikTok that they're saying that a lady bought a doll from Goodwill, and the doll is now, it was bald when she brought
Mhm.
it, and now the doll is growing hair. And they're like, what are we doing? It keeps growing more and more hair and da 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 da. So it's like a whole thing. And people are making, like skits of it. And, so it just brings, it makes the community look that much crazier. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, now they got dolls that's growing hair. They must be crazy, or they must be putting spirits in the dolls or whatever. And it's like, what? Most likely the doll was rooted.
Mhm.
It was rooted. You take a needle, a rooting needle, and it goes in one hair at a time. And then they probably chop the hair off, and maybe the vinyl is shrinking or something. There's hair. All they have to do is pop the head off, and you will see that there's still hair inside of the vinyl.
All
You
right.
know, but
That
to
type
each
of
his own.
thing, that type of thing would shed a bad light with the amount of hate that you already get here as well.
Exactly.
Okay, I
Exactly.
understand. All right. Well, we're gonna have the next person come up. Twinkle, thank you. I just followed you too. I appreciate you coming up.
Bye.
Ma'am. All right, let's see who else having a chat. Mika's taking a bit to load. Let's see about Jenna. Guys, if you want to come up and ask a question, now's the time. We have everyone here from the Reborn community. Just keep it respectful. All right. We got Lenny. Hey, Lenny, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Good.
This question is for anybody, but maybe specifically directed towards India. I know you said you make more affordable options for the ethnic dolls. Do you all typically see that maybe ethnic add-ons like hair type, facial features, and characteristics are more expensive or less expensive than maybe Eurocentric hair type and features?
Um, I don't really know much about the features because I don't do any of the sculpting. Like these are just the babies I make are from like pre-made sculpts. And when I say I try to make more affordable ethnic babies, it's because that ring at the bottom of the vinyl is the color that they come in before I make them darker. So that is the most customization I do. I know there are ethnic sculpts. I just am not very familiar with the sculpting process itself.
Okay, Vanita, yes.
You on mute,
Hold
boo?
on.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. So a lot of times when you think of an ethnic doll or whatever, it can be a little bit more expensive because certainly the artist is going to take more time to build that vinyl from this to this. Okay. So it's going to take a little bit more paint. It's going to take a little bit more time. And as far as the sculpt and having those features, you can just choose to like you can go to different websites and you can choose the sculpt that has the ethnic features, the wider nose, the bigger lips or what have you, and whether you want closed eyes or open eyes. All of those things add to the price. So I have, these are the same sculpt. One has open eyes, so now she's a darker baby. More paint goes into it. She has eyes. So what kind of eyes do you want? Do you want glass eyes? Do you want acrylic eyes? All of those things add to that price. Whereas this one, who doesn't have open eyes, you don't have to worry about the eye cost or anything like that. But certainly the artist is going to put more money into that, if that makes sense.
Yes, that does make sense. I also seen somebody, Claudia, in the chat says it costs more to reborn an ethnic doll because of cost of paints and hair, and that makes sense. Wow, that's very interesting. Do you and this is
And
my last question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Vanita.
also, I'm sorry, my granddaughter is trying to sit. It's okay. It's okay. She can sit with
It's
me.
okay.
It's okay.
It's okay, Vanita.
Also, the hair matters as well because the mohair that I use, it can range from anywhere from $80 for just a half ounce. And then sometimes I might use human hair. So all of that stuff adds into the price of the doll.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for
Yeah,
answering. You all.
you're welcome.
Okay. We have
Perfect. Did you want to?
two.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Lenny.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
just going to say, piggyback off what Miss Benita was saying and what Miss Claudia, I think, is saying in the comments. The darker the baby, the more the cost. It takes layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of paint to achieve the darker skin tones from the lighter skin tone babies. So once you understand that, then you kind of understand why the ethnic babies cost more than the Caucasian babies would cost. Like as far as this baby, she's a little, sorry, she's going everywhere. She's a little dark, but she's not as dark for a silicone based on what it starts out as. Like Miss Vanita was showing the head of what the tones normally start out as. But also with silicones, though, one thing is some of the sculptors now have, or the pours have, where you can get ethnic a more ethnic pour. And the skin
Wow.
tone will already look tinted a little bit before you start a little bit more than this, because it does take so long to achieve those skin tones. Hey,
So for
Kiki.
artists that get, for artists that, this is my last question, and I'm sorry.
It's
For
okay.
artists that usually do all types of ethnicities and different styles of babies, do you guys, what's like the average range that you'll see for ethnic brown or black baby?
So, like Miss Claudia is saying in the comments, it could take her like 3 days to paint a Caucasian baby and 2 weeks to do an ethnic baby, just depending on how deep the mom or the person who's going to adopt the baby is requesting the skin tone to be. So Miss Claudia will be like the best person to come up here and answer these questions because she's an artist and she does from Caucasian all the way to chocolate. With more of the time frames, because again, like I'm not technically an artist. Miss Benita, you want to answer some of that questions right now or not
Like,
talking?
what's like an average for an ethnic baby that you would say would be a cost?
Oh, for an ethnic baby, a really good, authentic ethnic reborn, like really realistic. I would say you could pay anywhere,
You
depending if
want
you get
some?
it from another person or if you get it directly from the artist. Like if
Maybe
I
give her
get it
some
from
juice.
another person, I could probably get it for maybe 600-700. If I get it directly from the artist, maybe up to the 1,200-1,300. It just depends on the realism of that baby. There go Miss Claudia. Miss Claudia, answer these questions.
Hey y'all.
Hey, Miss Claudia, how are you?
I'm
Hello.
rooting. Look, what Benita said, I'm rooting
Oh,
for
girl, I
you.
know you don't like that.
Dear, I'm over here in hell. Um, but the question is in regards to pricing. My pricing generally starts at about 750, up to the child size dolls. That can be up to 3,500 depending on the details. Like I was just saying, the darker ones it's going to take more time. So it's going to cost more, as far as hours. So you're thinking about as an artist how much you pay yourself per se, and it's kind of on the low end in some regards. Like Vanita and I was speaking about that. So if I'm charging $400 to root a head, but I'm taking 60 or 70 hours to root that head, I've not made anything off of that head in regards to that, because that's what, $7-8 an hour is what you've averaged, which is way below minimal, wages in most states. As far as the painting, it could take me anywhere, like I said, on a Caucasian baby, to 25 hours to 50 hours, and just paint. So you
Wow.
have to think and take in consideration of doll size and the kit cost and all of that. Like a pickle is sold out. It was limited, even though there's a million and one of them. It was limited. So that doll would cost you average anywhere from 1,400 to 2,000, depending on what's put in it, meaning the complexion and the hair and all of that. The one that Vanita has with her right now is going to probably be an $1,800 doll. A, it's sold out. B, the type of work that was put into it as far as the hair and the complexion and all of that. So it just depends. A lot of the times it's doll sizes for the people who are not really familiar. That you have to take an accountability as far as the price.
Okay.
Because an average for a toddler may be anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000.
Wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of
Yeah, but you
sense.
also want to take into consideration, let me add on to that, who the artist is. Like Miss Claudia is a prototype artist, meaning like she is the Madonna or the Beyonce of painting dolls. So you got to
Okay.
think about that too, who you're getting your doll from. You're going to pay a
Right.
little bit more for a prototype artist because of what's going to come behind that doll for you and the realism. I have one of her dolls here too as well, in my collection, from Georgia Peach Nursery. You got to think about that too, who you're getting it from, to decide how much coins you're willing to spend on the doll. Nothing against newer artists, but that's just the way it works. It works like that in every field. The more experience with that artist, 9 times out of 10, the more you're going to pay for that doll.
Right. So prior to like the last 3 years or so, of course, my prices have increased, of course, with the knowledge and everything that I've gained. But when I initially started, like what Miss Indy was saying, making budget, I did budget babies for years, meaning 250, 350. And it's really, it was really fun doing them, but I wasn't putting a lot of detail in them. I was really just concentrating on getting them out the door. Um, so of course, in pricing, it made sense. But for the work that's being put into them now, it's kind of you shoot yourself in the foot with 350 or $400 babies, especially with the amount of hours and stuff that we're putting into it. For instance, the ones that Benita have rooted, Benita took anywhere from 40 to 60 hours on those dolls. So for me to sell a baby for 700 would make absolutely no sense with the type of work that's put into them. And then you got all of the other things, the other factors. Heat set paint.
Mm-hmm.
Heat set paint is very expensive right now. So
Okay.
that in itself is an expense.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Claudia.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
got one more person. Miss Claudia, you could stay up if you would like for the purpose, assisting to ask questions at the end. I wanna ask you one question as well. Shadow, you could go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to say, honestly, I learned a lot today. Like seriously, I've gone through TikTok streets, and I've passed through the lives, and I see people with dolls, and it was like, what's happening here? But now that I hear your stories and I understand it a lot clearer, I like that. I like that you guys do. And my question goes to, why do you guys think that society judges reborn collectors so much more harshly than other collectors? Like, as it was stated earlier, there's people who play video games, there's people who do other things. So why do you think that not even just society in a whole does it? It's insane to me now. Go ahead, Sam. Thanks.
I think because we're women. Women
Yeah.
are harshly judged for anything that we do. Not to get political or anything, but women are already a minority no matter what race you are. We are, and we're looked at as the nurturers. And I think that as soon as we do anything outside of nursing a baby or rocking a real baby around in our arms, it's considered weird. For us to have dolls or have anything that we can actually love that resembles nurturing as an adult that's not actually nurturing a child. And I don't understand that really, because we all grew up learning how to nurture, most of us, by playing with dolls. When you grew up, that was kind of the first thing you got as a child. You wanted a doll or Barbie. And boys got G.I. Joes and cars to play with. That was the normal thing. Like Stronghand says, in his household, he couldn't hold a doll. And I'm familiar with that growing up. Boys weren't allowed to play with dolls, and they weren't allowed, like if we played house or something like that, they were not allowed to partake in playing with the dolls or be the person that took care of the doll. They were the person that would play with the work set, or they weren't allowed to cook. It's a gender role thing. And I just feel like we're just shunned upon because we're not nurturing what's supposed to be a real human being for some reason. Is looked at as weird because I think they resemble babies, and it must be some void or something that we missed out on, or some type of mental illness that's making us cling to unrealistic child. And it's still puzzling to us why people look at it that way. It really is. But
I
that's how
think
it's looked at.
too. I think too, like you, and just to piggyback off of what you were saying, and I really appreciate strong hand dad. I hope that's who I'm saying it right.
Yeah,
But
Strong
I
Hands
really
Reborn Dad.
appreciate, yes, I really appreciate his story. And like, I never put my kids into that gender role thing, because number one, men become daddies, and daddies need to change diapers. I'm sorry. Mommies
Yes.
don't always have to be the one to change the diapers. In my house, daddies change diapers. So did I let my boys play with dolls or whatever? In fact, my son has a cuddle baby, which is a reborn doll in the reborn doll realm, I guess, because he struggles with anxiety and things of that nature. And he's 25 years old. He's has a very great life, girlfriend, does all of the things, but does that doll give him what he needs? Yeah, it does. So am I going to knock him for that? I'm not. But I think society has all of these different ideas about what people should do, and then they just twist it and make it seem like it's something wrong, and it's not. So all of you guys who are watching, don't be scared to take your babies out there. Take your babies out there.
Take my babies outside every chance I get, every outing. I love taking them out. I
If
love
it's a
seeing
problem,
people's
call me.
reactions. I love seeing people's reactions to them, both positive and negative, because it's an opportunity to attempt to educate someone on what they may not know. And a lot of times they turn around. A lot of people go, "Oh, it's creepy." That's the first reaction I normally get out from people, is for some reason the doll is creepy. And I just say, what is creepy about the doll?
Right.
It's a doll. What's creepy about it? If I was a small child with the doll, would it be creepy?
No.
It wouldn't be creepy at that point. So why is it now creepy because I'm adult with a piece of art? And then, I go into explaining these are not for children. They're pieces of art. They start from clay. They're sculpted. They're poured. Then they're painted by different artists like Miss Claudia, like Pitter Patter Nursery, like so many other different, different artists paint these. And you can pick the features, and you can pick, and then once they're a little bit educated, they start to more understand, like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. And then you still have some people that look at it as negative. But like Miss Vanita said, I'm guilty of the gender role boxing.
Me too.
Growing up, I'm like, why does that boy have a doll? Like, it's just what is programmed into you, growing up. And then you have to think about it. Like she said, men have to be fathers too. And if you only know how to hit a hammer, you can't change a diaper, and I have to go to work, what is little Timmy gonna do when he needs to stop?
Very true.
So
Can I?
we have to change that, and we have to try to work on being a little bit more understanding and a little bit more less judgmental on how we treat each other, because nobody's around here judging a 45-year-old Bobby who sits up all day with his feet up, eating the children's snacks out of the refrigerator, playing Madden all day on his his PlayStation.
Right. Go ahead, strong hands.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I just wanted to add, my wife actually falls into the category where sometimes she finds the dolls a bit creepy. And the big thing I can get out of her that she's explained to me is it looks too real. It's this idea of, I think for some people, the realism is what makes it creepy. When you see a child with a toy, typically it doesn't look all that realistic. But these dolls are designed to look and mimic as much as possible real features and highlights and details that you would only see. And some people, when they see it, and then they may feel like they're been tricked or been fooled into it, because they might see quickly as they pass by what they thought was a baby in a stroller is actually a doll in a stroller. And so some people can be just taken aback by that. And I think that's where some of that psychology, because they were expecting to see a real baby, and then they kind of feel, and then it makes them kind of uncomfortable when they find out, no, it's just a doll, but a very, very realistic one.
Can I just do a little caveat to that question? Because I heard everyone speak in regards to the artistry and all of that stuff. But for some people that I've heard, it's a lot of there's an emotional component to it, where it kind of becomes one of those blurred lines, to speak, in terms of some people get very offended when you call their reborn baby not real. That's something that I've heard in the street, like whenever I go through TikToks, and what is some of your takes in regards to those type of emotional attachments to the reborn, whereas it's more so as if it's a real baby as opposed to the artistry as everyone else is speaking on.
I mean, I get offended sometimes when you call my reborn a baby doll, because I look at it as, when you think about a baby doll, you think about something you can go buy at a Walmart or Target or somewhere like that, and it's not. It's a realistic piece of, a piece of art that costs, like we said, hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. So I don't want it to be referred to as a baby doll, because I think that takes away from the artistry of it all when you say that it's a baby doll. Now, as far as a real baby, I know it's not a real baby, but I mean, maybe are they role playing at that time, or are they actually really serious? I'm not sure. But you have some people, like I said, in every community that might take things sometimes a little bit too far.
And also, going off of what you're saying, Perfect Choice, I feel like there are a lot of times those collectors are sensationalized, and those people who actually go that far and may purchase real formula are the ones that are always talked about.
Yes,
Whereas
those
a
are the
lot of
ones that
us,
I highlighted. The negativity is always what's
yeah,
highlighted in the community over all the positive things,
exactly.
all the positive collectors and artists that you can look up. It's like you centralize and then you generalize the whole community off of these, small instances where you run into somebody that is just way to the left with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Hmm. All right, ladies.
Any of you have insurance on your reborns?
Oh.
Like I heard some of you say that you bring them out in public. Anything can happen. Like, destruction or the elements, water damage. I'm not sure if that's a thing or not because I'm not really educated in it. But do any of you all insure your reborn?
I don't.
No.
No, but that's a
Take
good idea.
Yeah, no, you should absolutely be taking pictures and keeping receipts, especially for your high value ones like my Sarah here. Absolutely, I have plenty of pictures, receipts. So if anything like the house burned down,
Hmm.
absolutely this would be included in the homeowner's insurance claim. But you just need to make sure you have pictures and receipts and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Mine are included in my insurance that I have on my house, especially because I have other artists as well as other collectors sending me babies, and if something were to happen to my home, I would need to be able to cover those things. So I do have them covered under that.
Okay.
Got my home insurance, but when the specific question was when we go out, no, I don't have any coverage over them when I go out. If I don't know, someone were to snatch my doll or something like that, then that's a different thing. I don't have them covered as far as any type of insurance like that. And they
I
don't
would
have health insurance because I know they're not real, so they don't go to the doctor.
Yeah, I would say sometimes your homeowners. I'm not obviously overly familiar in insurance, but I've asked these type of questions because I've had assisted medical devices that cost as much as these dolls do, and I do take those out, and they're quite expensive. And so sometimes your personal property can extend beyond your home. So just I would say talk to your insurance company and ask them, if you had this out and about, if it could be covered, for instance, as maybe part of your auto insurance if you were to be in an accident, or if it covers, when you are out. Because I think in some cases it can.
Because
Auto
some
does
phones
too if
have
it's in the car. Like if it's like, because your laptops, all your stuff are covered in the car. But I
yeah,
don't know
because
if
you
I'm
guys
walking around the mall
know
with my
how
baby in the stroller or something happens if they're covered. But I am gonna check into
yeah,
that.
it might be something to look into because I was thinking about, how much you all invest in your reborns and, just like a phone, you can have insurance on the phone. So if it gets damaged, water damage, broken, whatever, you pay a small fee and, it gets replaced or whatever. That might be something to look into for you all's community because anything can happen, like especially with people learning more about y'all community with the reborns and learning how valuable the dolls are. This might be something to really start looking into.
Can I just add one last thing? I promise I won't take up the whole
No,
conversation.
go ahead.
I just want to say one other. It's a minor misconception, but some people wonder why would I pay $2,000 for a doll or something that can't love me back, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that this is a hobby. Um, Guys, I've got friends who rebuild cars. When I could see better, I used to have a motorcycle. And so that same question wouldn't have been asked then. Why would I spend $7,000 on a motorcycle when I don't need a motorcycle? So I think that just like any hobby, the people in this hobby typically are financially responsible. For instance, before I put any money down to Sarah, my son needed braces, and our insurance wasn't going to cover that. So I made sure that his braces and that were taken care of well before I ever looked at, buying a doll.
Of course, of course. And thank you very much, Mr. Stronghands. And I just wanted to, Minnie came up. Minnie, are you a collector or artist? And did you want to give your take before we close out? Hello, Minnie.
Yeah, I just hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm hello everybody. I'm not a collector. I probably have 8 reborns, but I have one in Pacific that means a lot to me, and that's she was custom made to look like my daughter. So it was a fact of I created her. Well, I had her because it's like when I had my daughter, I didn't get much of the baby stage. It was quite traumatic for me, and then I developed PTSD. And it was only when I came across a lady on Facebook that I was like, well, I want to hold on to my child, but she's growing up. How do I do that? I have pictures and stuff like that, but I want to hold on to her. And she said, okay, can I have a picture of her and I'll custom make her for you? And that's exactly what she did. So yeah, Ollie's not a hobby. Ollie's like part of the family now, where everybody knows about her. And yeah, she just is. I take her many places. The only places I don't take her is like work, because I know I work with children, so it's very much as in I don't want her to get damaged because she's not insured or anything. But yeah, I've had her for a year. I celebrated her birthday on the 4th of April. And it's just like she's literally changed my life. Yes, I have a daughter and I call them my babies. So it's been a wonderful year just having somebody just create her for me, that she looks exactly like my daughter, which is amazing. But I don't know for anybody else. I mean, do I have to insure her? I mean, would that be a good thing if anything does happen or she gets damages? But how do I replace Ollie? If something was to happen to her, how do I replace her? Because the feeling of just having her, you can't remake again.
Right. And so,
That's why I asked that question, because I wasn't sure if that was something that's popular in y'all community, to
Yeah.
fish around and ask about, because it might be something like, even with healthcare benefits, the more things happen and change in the world, they start changing the benefits. So maybe when
Yeah.
they're getting manufactured, that can be like a 10-year warranty or a 25-year warranty for damage or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Okay. Right. I think I'll look into that because she is very special and there's only one of her. I know the kit that she was made from, it doesn't seem like it's very popular. I don't know if you've heard of the Shane kit.
I don't know too much about. I wanted someone to
Yeah.
explain specifically what a kit was. I forgot to ask Miss Vanita or Miss Claudia, but Minnie, if you could provide us with that just for a reference for those who don't know.
She's called the Shane kit. So the Shane kit is actually a boy. But my friend made her into, well, she's a girl. Yeah. And she looks very much the split image of what my daughter looks. I don't know how she done it, but she did. But I've been to like doll shows and I'm the only one with this kit. So
it's unique.
I'm wondering, yeah, is it not popular? Is it not a popular kit like the Laura or like the Christopher? Because nobody seems to have it apart from me, and I'm just feeling a bit kind of like, oh, okay, it's not a popular
I'm not
kit.
sure. I'm trying to think if I've heard of the Shane kit.
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Now, the difference between the kits are, so sculptors create the kits. So they create the mold for the kit. They
Yeah.
create the whole thing. So this kit is the pickles kit, very
Yes.
popular,
Yeah.
sold out limited edition kit. Nikki Johnson is the sculptor. So then you have this kit. This is Laura Lee Eagles. That's another
Yes.
sculptor. The KK is my baby. That's the Vito sculpt. That's by Laura Tuzio Ross. So
Okay.
that's the difference between the kits, and the
Yeah.
kits are like you can purchase them from different companies like McPherson's, Irresistibles,
Yeah.
Bountiful Baby. So this is a Bountiful Baby kit.
Okay. Right.
This is a Bountiful Baby
Wow.
kit.
This is a
Wow.
kit.
Look at that.
Kit. You're gonna get
Yes.
a kit. Let me open
And the
it.
vinyl piece, the
You're gonna
vinyl
get a
limbs.
head. You're gonna get the limbs with the kit.
Yeah.
And what are you doing with that, Miss Choice, that don't paint? Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't y'all do that. Don't stop me, Miss Benita. And Miss Claudia, don't say a word. This is a kit, and it comes like this. It comes blank. This is a Joanna kit. This is a very popular kit.
Right. I see. Okay.
Okay.
So that one is from Bountiful Baby. So on the back of your baby's neck,
Yeah.
there should be, there's usually on the back of the baby's neck, we'll have like this one. It has the artist's name somewhere on there. Usually it's on the back, right above the flange here.
Okay.
And then that's who you can see who she was sculpted by.
Yeah. I think it's Angela Dagner.
Okay, that must be
Yeah.
an older sculpt. What do you think,
Yeah,
Claudia
it's
is
just,
the kit expert?
It is an old kit. I haven't seen one
Okay.
in many moons, and the only ones I've ever seen, honestly, is probably one or two if I've been Caucasian. So it's never been a doll that I've had in my collection.
Yeah.
Because we tend to, want to create the ones that are ethnic. And if I don't see one that kind of inspires me,
Yeah.
then I won't buy it.
Okay.
And
Right.
I see, Miss Vanita, that doll that you just held up even has a little baby ball spot in the back, like the.
Yeah, yeah. And that is created on purpose,
I know.
strategically right where it goes.
Love it.
Right.
Ruler,
Love it.
master ruler. Miss Vanita is a master ruler.
Wow.
Well, I don't know about being a master, but I'm trying to do the best I can. And I love that I'm going to be teaching at the DFW Doll Show, rooting, and I've got the little online classes, tutorials that I offer as well. So it's what I love to do.
She won't
It
toot
is
her
what I
horn,
love
but
to
I
do.
will. I'll toot her
Gorgeous
horn. She won't
pickle.
toot it, but I'll toot
Ah,
it. She's a
right.
master rooter.
Wow.
Miss Claudia, you had something to say?
I said Vanita taught me.
Oh, she did? I saw that she does
Mhm.
she said that she did classes. All right,
She
so
does.
Miss Claudia, I'm going to close out with each of you ladies just giving your closing remarks. But I want to just say thank you very much, ladies, and sir, Mr. Strong Hands, for welcoming me to your community to learn, to be briefly educated, because we can't know everything, but we learned a lot. We learned a lot. And I thank you very much for the gifters, for the individuals in the audience. And this has been a very educational conversation, and I'm very grateful.
You're welcome.
All right, all right, Miss Claudia, we could start with you. We're gonna go to Mr. Strong Hands, and then we're gonna go from the bottom up.
I just say for anybody that's watching, just do what you love. Just have fun. That's what it's about. I started off as just collecting and just interested in the paint part, but not really. So I'm always going to be a collector artist. So have fun. I play with my dolls. It ain't no shame in it.
And Miss Claudia, could you give your handle so the people know where to find you at? Your
Claudia
TikTok
Mentor
handle?
Hillsman I can't say it, on the book face. And then I am ORIG_Red on TikTok. And I post only my doll things for the most part.
Okay. And you are an artist, correct?
I am an artist, and my nursery name is Georgia Peach, Reborn Nursery. Georgia Peach.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Miss Claudia. And Mr. Strong Hands, you go ahead with your closing remark.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me again. and being welcoming to the space. I'm actually familiar with a few of the panelists that we had today, and so I appreciate you guys welcoming me, especially as a guy in the reborn hobby. And I would just want to say that ask questions. I don't know that any of us are going to get mad for a good, like a well-respected question. And just remember that, you know, we all have different stories. We've all come from different backgrounds and experiences. And you know, I think in life sometimes when things we don't understand, if we just take the time to ask a few questions and learn a little bit more, I think that we can find more understanding than we had before. And this community is some of the most loving people you'll ever meet in your life. And these are a lot of the same people who, because we love caring for babies, right? We love that nurturing side. We're also some of the most generous people and gentle people you'll ever meet. And so come and say hi. And thanks again.
Thank you. All right, Miss Jellybean, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for hosting this and having this safe space for us to all come and talk and, you know, just voice and bring some light to what the reborn community really is, because I think a lot of people think we are just crazy doll people, you know, who have a weird attachment to babies. And it's like, no, you know, we just want to enjoy our hobby. So I do appreciate you, you know, having this open conversation and just hearing that person come up and say, you know, that she understands a whole lot more. That just made me feel like, wow, like, you know, people just need to understand. So thank you so much for that. And my handle is Nayeli.and.ivy, which is Ivey.
Thank you very much. And thank you in the chat, guys. Miss India, your turn.
I just want to say thank you so much for having me on here as well. To anyone watching, we aren't psychotic or delusional. We know that these are dolls. These are very expensive handmade pieces of art that we do treat lovingly. We do treat like real babies, but we're not out here buying expensive formula to hold up to their mouths, you know, and like everyone else has said, we will answer questions. We are a very friendly group of people. And again, just don't be afraid to ask. We live in such a dark, sad world already. Have some whimsy, find something that makes you happy, even if it's off the beaten path.
Thank you very much, Miss India. Miss Perfect, you're up. And thank you, Miss India, for joining me and us, the panel as a whole. Go ahead, Miss Perfect.
All right. So, like I said, my handle on the different platforms is Perfect Choice Reborns and more. You can find me out there. And yeah, thank you. Like everybody said, this was a great panel. I had great fun. I know a couple of the people up here. You know, it is great to educate people on the hobby, letting them know that we are not crazy, doll fanatic, left wing, milk buying crazy people. And just, you know, just letting people know that, you know, we're regular people. We have families, we have kids, we do things every day, you know, and it's not all coming from a place of disabilities that we collect these dolls. Some people just collect in this hobby for fun, and not, you know, for coping. And it's okay if you do collect to cope with things. That's okay too. And even if you don't collect for coping, they do help with a lot of different things. I don't know if you were watching, I'm holding her. I just immediately began to rock. It's just a natural thing. So yeah, I appreciate you creating this safe space for us to be able to come, commune. For the people that I don't know, I'll be following. This was a great networking opportunity as well. And us getting to put out, you know, information, positive information about our community and our hobby. So thank you.
Thank you, Miss Perfect. Okay, Miss Minnie, go ahead. Miss Minnie, you got a little bit of background noise. I just muted you because we couldn't hear. But it's your turn up to go ahead and make your closing remarks.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. Trying to get home after a late night of drinking and being happy. Yeah, we're not all psychotic. We're not all crazy. We know exactly what we're doing. And, you know, there's so much judgment in the world that you can't enjoy what you want to enjoy because there's so much criticism. Be happy. You only live one life. Enjoy it.
All right. I agree. All right. Thank you very much, Miss Minnie. All
Thank
right,
you.
Miss Vanita, last but not least, go ahead and make your closing remarks. And again, thank you very much as well.
I just want to say I appreciate this whole panel, and this was a great networking event. You don't even know. We, as artists and collectors, we spend time. I know in my lives, when I go live, the first thing that I say to my people that are watching, please be positive. There's no negativity. And I would rather have an honest question than to have a harsh statement. Because I think a lot of times people make statements like, that's weird. Instead of saying that's weird, maybe you say, hey, how come you guys do that? That's creepy. Instead of saying that's creepy, how about you say, hey, that's really different. How come you did it? So you turn the negative into a positive and you will be received. I have mods on my lives and they will cut you down with the quickness and mute you. And I rather the mute be muted because we're educating the whole time. So just be kind to people. It only takes a second to be kind. We're just regular people, ordinary people who want to be happy and enjoy the things that we do. And we're not going to stop you from enjoying the things that you do either. So be kind. That's all. That's it.
All right. Thank you very much, my reborn parents, artists, and collectors. I really just appreciate you guys taking the time. And I'm going to be posting this on YouTube. I'm going to also be posting the clips. I'm going to tag you guys up in it. I'm following Miss Claudia now. So just look out for that. And this was very educational. And have a good night, ladies.
Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye. Thank you.